Okay, so this is a video showing the first layer of paper detailing for the turret. You want to start with the gun shield and just round it with the bamboo skewer. It's a little bit easier to make the rounding more even if you just use a skewer rather than your fingers. And if you get this sort of effect of slight delamination, you might want to take scissors and just snip off the edge of that so it attaches to the turret more evenly. Otherwise, you're kind of attaching with just a little thin bit of cardboard and it's a bit more difficult. So just trim that back quickly and try to make the rounding even before you start attaching it. And take your paintbrush and some straight glue. And you want to just put a bead along the top of this blue box on the turret. And the same with the bottom. The sides are going to be open for now, but we'll close them up before this video is done. Take the pre-rounded gun base and use the blue box as a guide so it comes almost right to the top, but there's some distance between the bottom, and you want to have these little blue lines on the side visible on each side, so evenly spaced. And we're just going to leave that to dry on there for a bit. We'll work on some other things quickly. Next, we're going to attach the turret neck and give it a turret post. So you're going to take a bamboo skewer and we're going to first we should sharpen one end. You don't want to use the pre-sharpened ends because it's too long. Just want to have, and it doesn't have to be like actually sharp. And then you just cut maybe 1.5 centimeters or less off there. So you've got a chunk of bamboo skewer. We're going to insert that through the neck and into the turret like that, and just glue it all together. Now, when you're setting the turret neck into the turret, if the hole isn't in exactly the right place on either of them, or in both of them, then you can kind of spin the turret until you see an even amount of blue on each side. So this is the best position for it to match all the way around for me. So just kind of remember that. And we're going to place some glue. Now I'm just going to use 4:1. The straight glue is a bit thick and unnecessary. So 4 glue 1 water rather than straight glue. And when we're placing this, we want to keep it away. Actually, that won't matter. If you're not trying to place the turret post right now, then you would want to keep it away from there. But this is fine. And just insert the turret neck. And then remove the post for a second. Toss a little bit of straight glue right into that hole. And pop the turret post in and try to make sure it's coming out straight, or it will affect how the turret sits on the body. Now, we don't want to pop this in to the tank yet, just because things are a little bit delicate right now, and also there's a little bit of glue showing on the bottom there, so we could bond to the hull if we're not careful. So while that dries, I've got a few 7mm hole punch discs punched out of cue card paper or index card paper, so it's a bit thinner than the cardboard, because these hatches on the back are barely visible. So just place a little bit of 4:1 glue on this symbol on the back, toss one of these onto there. Even though it's very thin, it's still a noticeable detail. So you can see that. Now that this front part is dry a little bit, take that chunk of cue card paper and we're just going to cut a few small squares out of it. Don't need much. And we're going to attach those edge on to the sides of the gun base. And then we'll just trim them later when everything's dry and set. So this is just the easiest way to do it. And if sometimes the shape's a little bit different for this gun base, this always matches it quite nicely. You just trim it with a really sharp scraper blade when it's nice and set. So just place them on there and then push them into position a little bit so everything's nice. And like I said, when those are completely dry, trim them. Don't try to do it before then. And that is the first layer of paper detailing. And now you can just kind of gently set it on the hull to dry, like so.